This Chevy Cobalt SS has been abused beyond your wildest imagination. The interior of this car has never been clean in nearly 2 decades, and it's disgustingly dirty. The carpets are heavily stained, full of dog hair and bits of old food, but the seats, well, they're some of the nastiest I've ever seen. Buckle up as I try to perform a miracle on this car and get it looking new again. Okay guys, now as I get to work on the pre-wash rinse here, it looks like this step shouldn't take all that long today as the exterior isn't all that dirty. And I also wanted to quickly remind you guys that the 2024 awards video was released last week, so if you haven't watched it yet, consider giving it a look as I recapped some of the more memorable vehicles and moments of the year. Now as I move up to the front end here, you'll notice there's a few small twigs on the hood and some leaves and debris in the windshield cowl. And while I don't really have much for backstory on this car, I think it's clear it was parked underneath some trees because not only is there a bunch of leaves up here, the trunk jam is full as well. Okay, now for the trunk jam here that's packed full of dirt and leaves, I'll quickly pull out what I can with my hands from both sides and then just blast the rest out. Yes, I know that what's left in there is going to end up on the floor, but it'll take less time to get that cleaned up after than it would to painstakingly try to remove every leaf from the crevices here by hand. Alright, well with the car washed and dried now, it's time to start on the huge job that this interior is going to be. And the first step is to of course get the seats removed, which wasn't all that easy. When I went to slide the driver's seat forward to access the bolts at the back, it wouldn't move because the bar had come unattached underneath. So after about 10 minutes or so trying to fix it, I was able to get it back in place, move the seat and get it out. Not only did the seats have to come out though, so did the center console, though that's a heck of a lot easier to remove as I've worked on vehicles like this in the past, so I already knew how it would come apart. Moving to the rear passenger footwell now, and I think it's pretty clear that this carpet is in rough shape. Thankfully for me though, all the dog hair in the carpet is coming up pretty easily, but I'm a bit worried about all these stains, plus the fact that I know they've been sitting for potentially over a decade, and yeah, that just means I've got my work cut out for me to get them looking presentable. Starting on the driver's footwell now, where the imprint of the rubber floor mat that was here is very firmly stuck in the carpet, and while that's not an uncommon thing to see, it usually is able to be vacuumed away, so the fact that this imprint isn't budging means the mat was likely sitting there unmoved for many, many years. Okay, now as I start working on these horribly dirty seats, I have to say that I'm really not sure how clean I'll be able to get them. I've worked on other vehicles that had similar stains, and while I'm usually pretty successful, these ones just look worse, and after making the first few passes, it's clear they're gonna need some more work. Alright, now not something I have to do very often, but I'm going ahead and using some all-purpose cleaner instead of my carpet cleaner this time, because of chemistry. Not every stain out there can be removed with just one kind of cleaner, so using the APC here might be the right answer for what's left in this seat, and after making a few passes, I was really happy to see that I managed to get nearly everything pulled out. Okay, now as I repeat the entire process here on the driver's seat, you'll notice that I just opted to use the APC exclusively here, and that's simply because it seems to be the best option for whatever these stains are. Usually my carpet cleaner is the answer, but there are stains that only the APC is going to be able to cut through, and that's definitely what I'm dealing with here. Although it does look like there are a few spots that just aren't able to be touched. Alright, well, starting on the upper portion of this driver's seat, which is just mind-boggling to me how a seat could ever get this dirty, and it again looks like the APC is the answer here, as once I started agitating with the drill brush, it was clear it was loosening things up. Achieving perfection on a seat this dirty though, I think would be truly a miracle. Anything this heavily abused is going to be incredibly hard to clean, so by the looks of things, it's going to make a huge transformation, but I won't stop until it's clear I can't make it any better, even if that means repeating the process 2, 3, or even 4 times. Okay, moving down to the carpets now, and I decided to start with my carpet cleaner here to see how it fares considering the carpet is a different material than the seat fabric is. But you might also notice that I switched over to my Milwaukee drill as well, and that was simply because it's got a little bit more power than my Bosch drill does, and given how bad these stains are, I needed all the help I could get. Plus, I'm also using a brand new drill brush, as that'll give me a little bit more bite than one that's been used a few times already. Okay, repeating the process here, and I'm using the APC again, of course, but I have to say that I'm really impressed by how good things are turning out. Of course, I know they aren't going to be perfect, as much as I want them to be, but the car is going to look a heck of a lot better, and definitely good enough that the new owner can actually enjoy driving the car. Here's all the absolutely nasty and putrid water sucked out of the carpets and seats today. Gross. Okay, now as usual, it's my all-purpose cleaner that's working magic on this car, and I'll of course use it and the steamer on these nasty seatbelts. But I'm honestly not expecting to get them looking 100%. After seeing how the carpets and seats turned out, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some stains in here that aren't going to budge no matter how hard I try. Alright, now as I start on the storage compartment here from the center console and my all-purpose cleaner cuts through all the dirt and grime, I figured I'd give you what little background I do have on this car. So basically all I know is that the new owner recently purchased it, dirt cheap obviously, and is planning to fix it up a little as it needs new headlights and a new passenger window, but those things can likely be found at a junkyard for pretty cheap. Other than that, I believe he intends to use it as a cheap little commuter car, as it should still have some life left in it. Okay, with the center console put back together, I'll take the opportunity to get everything dressed and UV protected before I put the seats back in, as it's far easier to do that right now. And once I've done all the plastics in here, I'll jump back outside and get some ceramic spray coating applied to the paint to bring back some depth and gloss. Alright, second last step now is to get all the glass cleaned with some of my best selling glass cleaner and waffle weave towel, which if you didn't know will leave the glass perfectly streak free, and as an added bonus, it won't leave any lint behind like regular microfiber towels will. You can find both items over at detailgeekautocare.com, and I would definitely recommend picking up a couple of bottles, or even a gallon of the glass cleaner, because once you see how well it works on your vehicle, well, you'll be using it all around the house too.
All right guys, well 11 hours later and this Chevy Cobalt is looking absolutely phenomenal considering how disgusting it was when I started. Now of course I wish I could have got it perfect, but pretty happy with how it turned out nonetheless. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this one, make sure you smash the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to check out my other channel, The Yard Geek. Enjoy the guitar outro, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.